Test, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2.
Erection. Massive.
Ella, Ella, one time. Ella, Ella, one time.
Right,
Ella,
sweaty
Ella,
ball
one
sack.
time. So you want?
Central Park. I want to hold the rock and kind of.
Was it good?
No. It wasn't as fun as I thought it was. Like, it's not going to be good. We know that, right? It's one of those stupid comedies.
Yeah.
But it's not even that funny.
Like
Kevin Hart's had funnier, and I had to convince Stamina for about a week that we could put it on.
Isn't that out of theater though?
Yeah, it was on Shaun the Man.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so we watched it. I'm like, no, it's going to be funny. I remember the tweets. They were funny, but nothing.
So what was better, that or some of the Super Bowl commercials?
Come on, man, the Super Bowl commercials were way better. That Eli Manning, Odell Beckham Jr.
That was good, eh?
I was laughing so hard, it wasn't even funny. That was best commercial 2018, not just Super Bowl. 2018.
Great personalities.
So far.
Great personalities.
That's going to get a loofah.
You know who else has got great personalities? Episode 18, Real Locker Room Talk.
Boom!
Boom!
I took your boom again.
That's okay. We're back, baby. We're back. Welcome to a special edition, a day early.
A day early. We had to do it. I texted Mitch, for everyone listening out there, I texted him, I said, Mitch, we can't let this ride. Okay? The Super Bowl just happened. People want to talk about it. People want to listen to it. Let's do the show a day early.
A day early,
right?
And we're here. We're getting excited. We have a lot to talk about because the Super Bowl was, by all means, it was everything it lived. Like, the NFL couldn't have expected anything better.
Yeah.
Really. However, they disappointed one person. That was me. I was a little disappointed. I feel like I was jaded.
Now, what's more disappointing, how you feel with the Super Bowl or how your fiance feels when you do take your clothes off? Rate one.
I would say both. I would say right now.
But you'll have to pick one, Mitch.
I have to pick. Well, no, she's more disappointed when I take my clothes off, for sure.
I just needed to know that someone shared that with me.
The Super Bowl was epic. It was a great for all intended purposes. The product on the field was exactly what they probably wanted to show the fan that didn't or doesn't watch a lot of NFL. They got to see what the NFL can be. However, as a avid guy, I wasn't. We'll talk about it more.
Yeah,
let's not get into it right away.
That's why.
You know why? Because we have so much, and especially on the macro mind media side.
The metrics of the week, and you're going to notice something before I get into it. Normally, I get Jeff to cue the music.
There's no Jeff.
There's no Jeff right now.
Where's Jeff?
Do you feel naked?
I do. Honest to God, I do.
Look, we got no headsets.
Nothing.
We're locked up in your office.
Yeah.
I'm holding the microphone like a talk show host.
You look like a talk show host.
It's so weird. And you know what's... Again, people don't know how shitty of a person you are. You are very... What is that on your shirt? Never forget. I know who that is.
That's right.
There is someone that we mutually know on Mitch's shirt with a pile of money saying never forget. But anyways, this is why you're a shitty person. Mm-hmm. We're in your house. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. You're even cooking dinner for me.
Absolutely.
You know, like...
That's what good do.
Just because you're not paying Jeff doesn't mean you don't have to pay...
Apparently I'm paying somebody, the piper.
Right?
Yeah.
But we're in your office. Great office. I like what's going on in here.
Thanks.
But you got this amazing chair. It almost looks like a cognac chair.
Yeah.
Like, a really nice piece of upholstery.
Thank you.
And for me, it looks like you went into a high school and stole a desk chair.
Which I did.
It makes sense because that's what it looks like.
Who has random chairs? I could go downstairs and get you a nice kitchen chair. But
I think that would have been the right move to get the kitchen chair.
In hindsight, you're probably absolutely correct.
But again, I don't want to be picky.
No, of course not.
I digress, Mitch. But I don't know how things are going to turn out, but we cannot admit to Jeff at all.
Yeah, never.
That, oh man, we really need you.
Wow.
Because he'll up the prices.
Oh yeah, he's going to up. And based on what I'm seeing, rightfully so, if he did. Rightfully so. We have realized how crappy we are at putting this stuff together.
Yeah, but things are great.
But
man, you know what, Jeff? We could go either or.
Yeah,
we like you.
Yeah.
We just want to hang out with you.
Hanging with you. Where else are we going to learn about speedballs and what rock stars did what
Exactly. Yeah, and he's got some great stories.
He does
all
actually
jokes
have some
aside.
really good
But you know what? I'll tell you what we don't need you for, Jeff, and that's going back for the macro my media metrics of the week.
Unreal.
Mitch,
What did you do?
can I tell you what's happening in Real Locker Room Talk? If I
Please.
were to tell you that we have been downloaded in another United State of America, of the states that are united in
Right.
America,
Right?
do you know?
I didn't know. No, I mean, which state hasn't touched us yet? I mean, we almost got the whole.
We got the border surrounded.
We got
We're
the
going
border
from
surrounded.
Texas to Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, California up to Washington.
That's right.
A little bit of New York.
Nice.
A little Missouri, North
Yeah.
Carolina, South Carolina.
I like it.
But here's this one.
What do we got?
Boston.
We got Boston.
We're in Boston now.
You're over there now.
Yeah,
the
we're over
charges.
in Boston.
The charges. You got a charger?
Yeah, we're over in Boston right now. I think maybe because the Patriots thing was going on, I'm going to listen to my House of Pain CD, watch The Departed. How you doing? How's your mother?
You know what's funny? I watched The Town last week, and I anytime you watch Matt Damon and what's the other guy? Affleck do their thing, and they're doing their Boston thing, it's funny. To me, I almost feel like they're mad that they became superstars. It's like they feel bad, so they do a lot of movies where they're just the normal folk. That's what I feel like.
Their best movie, though, is Good Will Hunting.
Absolutely.
No.
But absolutely it's their best movie.
Yeah.
How about the movie Good Will Hunting? Obviously it's fantastic.
Yeah, I just said that, Mitch.
Sorry, I meant to say the other one.
Hey, I'm
sorry.
over here now.
Over there. No, the cop, the one, the mafia one where Matt Damon is.
Departed.
Departed.
That's right. The whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was unreal.
Great movie as well.
I like the spin on the mafia aspect.
Well, it's not really a spin. That's a real.
Well, in terms of what they put on what we've normally seen. So I guess you're right.
Yeah, I guess where it's not Italian.
But we're downloaded in Boston.
Boston.
You know what else Macromind
Thanks,
Media
Boston.
is done for us?
Huh.
I'll tell you.
Sure.
I put out a tweet
Yeah.
the other day.
Okay.
That video from the AVNs with
Yeah.
Brandy Love.
I saw you do that, and I said to myself, "This has got something."
And if there's any more reason to listen to the Real Locker Room Talk, it's because Brandy Love said so. And for those who saw the video. But not just those who saw the video, the fans that we have. How about the 45,000 impressions that we received on Twitter? That was our highest tweet to date.
Unreal. So you mean to tell me, if we've done anything, I think we figured out, and maybe we should call James about the analytics, but do you think that we figured out the algorithm? Porn, sports, boom.
Done.
Porn,
That's
sports, boom.
Yeah.
For anyone out there that wants to push whatever you're pushing, I highly recommend get a sports star and a porn star, and you've got it down.
It reminds me of The Sopranos. Who was it? Remember they wanted to film the movie Cleaver?
Yeah.
Right? And
right.
Right? And so Silvio goes, what if we said only lasts the test of time? Our thing and certain aspects of the entertainment industry.
Exactly.
Right? And they knew.
They
the
knew.
Sopranos knew.
They knew.
They just didn't do they had the sports book.
Yeah, that's what.
Right?
That's
so
true.
sports and porn.
Sports and porn.
Cracked it. But
Absolutely.
yeah, again, those are the Macromind Media metrics of the week. Thanks, boys. You got to check out the portfolio, macromindmedia.com. If you want to see some more of their work, check out the website that they've done for us. You can stream the podcast live too. RealLockerRoomTalk.com. Mitch.
Unreal.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it very much. Doing such a fantastic job. Website looks amazing. All right, well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. It's fresh in our minds. It just happened less than 24 hours ago. But before we get to that, I have bigger breaking news. Bigger breaking news. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, CFL MVP Ricky Ray has re-signed with the Toronto Argonauts.
Whoa!
Boom!
Hey,
boom! I say,
can I go
you know
my
what?
Boston talk?
Go ahead.
Hey, what are we talking about the Super Bowl for?
What are we talking about?
Well, Ricky Ray.
Ricky Ray
How's your
signed,
mother?
re-signed, and if something's bigger than that, you tell me. That's the biggest thing that's happened in the last 24 hours.
The reigning, defending Canadian football champion of 4 provinces?
No, I joke around. Look, we talked about it yesterday. I called you right after the game, and I have to admit, the game, there was a little lackluster. The game was not lackluster. I take that back. The game was excellent, very entertaining. However, as the kind of football fan that I am, I wanted to see some defense, you guys. I got to be honest. I hated the back and forth. It bothered me, and I guess I'm still kind of waiting for Tom Brady to throw that haymaker or to get them back in and to win this game. Like, I'm still waiting for something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
what I'm
right.
waiting
It's
for.
Monday.
Yeah.
And there's still a chance. He's Tom Brady.
Are they still
Guys,
reviewing this play?
the game's not over. Tom Brady has come back from worse than this.
Yeah, exactly. Something's going on here. And you know what's funny? I watched the game yesterday.
That was by far the best message you've ever. I was cracking up when you. So what we just talked about, Mitch. You messaged that. You're like, it's not over.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for Tom Brady to make the backup. And you know what? I think everybody across the Americas and Canada is waiting for Tom Brady to make this comeback. They spoke even Collinsworth at the very end of the game.
Yeah.
He's been down worse than this, blah, blah.
Oh, man, they gave him the jinx there. I was watching him like, Collinsworth, shut up.
Yep, absolutely.
You don't do that. Like, everyone knows, he did it last year,
Yeah.
You're killing the guy.
Absolutely.
And that's when I knew. Because they know how to mess with the over-under, they know how to mess with the spread, they know how to jinx players. That's what these guys do for a living. They call. That's why, Tony Romo might not have a career because he's actually calling the game.
He's literally calling the game, literally. He might as well have a headset on.
Don't think I forget Romo.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag never forget.
Never forget. You better believe it. But let's get down to it. Tell me, what were your thoughts of the game?
So I think on an entertainment perspective, it absolutely delivered. It was an excellent, entertaining Super Bowl. It really was. I do agree with you as well. Nobody showed up for defense. Mm-mm. I mean, were Foles and Brady playing well? Yeah, they were playing well. They were making their throws. They were... they were calm. I got to credit Foles. I was wrong. There's one thing I was really wrong about. I thought he peaked in the NFC final, and he showed up and he was playing in this one. So I was wrong. But yeah, the lack of defense was absolutely terrible. And I'm just so... What disgusts me about the whole thing is a guy like Tom Brady goes out and throws over 500 yards, has an amazing game, and his defense couldn't help him out just a couple times.
Unbelievable.
The turning point of the game for me was it was 3rd and 10. Philly has the ball. They're in their own 20-25. And I'm sorry, I didn't remember the defender's name, but he has a missed tackle, right? And then subsequently, they got the first down. They ended up scoring. That destroyed it because New England was finally getting back in the groove.
Yeah.
New England was getting in the groove. Gronkowski was a factor. That was the turning point because Philly would have had to punt and New England could have potentially had the lead much earlier. But man, it was bad. The defense was bad.
Going back to it, and I'll just put my 5 cents on it as well. Simply this. As an avid football fan, I like to think I am. I wanted to see some defense. Some. I totally understand. I talked to my sister, weirdly enough, just nonchalantly today. She loved it. She goes, I never really watch it. She goes, I truly loved the game. I really enjoyed it. I liked what it was. But for a guy that's watched football and played football, I just really kind of wanted to see some defensive plays. I really did. I actually, and with Tom Brady doing such an amazing... So for all those haters out there that are going, oh, there's your Tom Brady. He didn't do what he was...
Shut up.
Exactly.
Shut up.
I do admit, I do feel like The Sopranos, since we already brought it up, I do feel like the ending of The Sopranos, where they just blocked it out and you don't know how it ends.
Don't stop. What happened? Did the cable go?
That's it, exactly.
Put it on the other channel.
I think...
Hold on. Sorry to cut you off. When that happened, did you try to change channels during The Sopranos to go to the other ones?
Of course.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody.
Yeah, biggest joke.
Oh, biggest joke. But to my point, I think a room full of people in Minnesota, even though they weren't cheering for New England, and I'm sure there's not just the Philadelphia fans, everyone's really pumped that Philly won it because they were the underdog and they beat Goliath and all that. They still kind of were waiting for something a little bit more. And it's funny, the only defensive play came with 2 minutes left in the game where they just made a good pass rush, got in front of them, and fumbled the ball and got it away from Brady.
Yeah, it was a great play.
And it was a great play, but it's just, why couldn't we have a couple of more of those throughout the game? It was, to me, I didn't call it the Super Bowl. I've been calling it this for the last 24 hours. It was the Super Techno Bowl. That, to me, I felt like this was, for anyone that played that video game back in the game, that's what I felt like this game was. It was who had the ball last and won the game. Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. I just... That was the only thing I had about it. I mean, outside of that, I do wonder now, do you think that this is kind of the end of the Belichick-Brady? I mean, Gronk is coming out saying that he's not really sure if he's even going to come back. And truth be told, man, that guy looks like he's taken a few too many hits. And Hey, New England, quick little thing. He's good. You didn't have to wait till the second half to use him. I don't know if you guys have like this policy where you don't use him in the first half.
Oh man, I get the strategy behind things. Maybe don't give someone a look, see where it's going. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter when you introduce a player like Gronkowski. He's hard to cover at any time. Okay, so you're not doing yourselves any favor by playing possum for the second half. Oh, here comes Gronk. No, utilize Gronk a lot, all the time.
As much as you can.
He is such a special athlete, such a special, because of his height and his athleticism and everything, that it's just hard to cover these guys.
Absolutely.
It's hard to cover them. So it was like, you know what, it's funny that you say with your sister, like, yeah, that I'm not mad like you are about the overall defense. I'm just mad that the New England Patriots actually let down Tom Brady
absolutely,
for another piece of his legacy. And the reason it bothers me so much is because nobody else on that team, outside of Belichick, it quite frankly is going to have that kind of success.
Absolutely.
Right? So here's a question for you on,
Sure.
on that topic. Butler not playing.
Yeah.
Reports are coming out that apparently he missed curfew, marijuana potentially was involved, just some policy infringements. Now, does it make a difference if he's in the game?
Based on what I saw yesterday, I don't see how one defensive back would have made that big of a deal. However, I will say this: I do want to know if that was the real reason. And what I kind of saw was Belichick came up with this idea, going, let's pretend none of that happened.
Right.
He saw the game film and he said, Butler's going to get burned every play. I don't want to play him. Right.
Right.
Belichick is a football god, mind, whatever you want to call it. But is there a point where his pride got too much ahead of him? He benched him, and had they won the game yesterday, everyone was like, wow, he did it again.
Yeah.
He benched a great defensive guy, and he saw something that no one else saw. Towards the third or fourth quarter, when he saw that some of his DBs were having some problems, do you not just let it go? Do you just maybe put your pride to the side and say, hey, I got to bring you in. You are a good enough player that you're going to make maybe a play or two.
Right.
I got to bring you in. This game is obviously offensive. And the second part is this game is in the air. We talked a lot about what New England didn't do. Let's talk a little bit about what Philly did do.
Yeah, that's great. You're absolutely right about that.
So,
Mitch.
you know what? Philadelphia, what can I say? Amazing game plan. Doug Peterson came into this. He probably watched that Jags game and said, all we have to do is tweak it. It's like he listened to our podcast.
Yeah,
said, I'm going to listen to Mitch and Dimitri, and I'm going to break their necks.
Well, he was a backup in Green Bay at one point.
And who did he have talking to the team before the game started? Do you know?
Was it the...
It was.
Was it the Favre?
It was.
Was it
he
the Favre?
He brought in the legend, Brett Favre, to talk to the team before the game, and apparently it worked.
Well, there you go. The proof's in the
You're
pudding.
welcome, Philadelphia.
Yeah, and thanks for listening to the podcast.
Absolutely.
Right?
But can we
I'll
just
check
say...
the metrics. I don't know if we have... He must have not been in Pennsylvania.
No, not that long.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
It wasn't that long.
The Baston.
The Baston.
There we go.
The Baston.
They must have been practicing in Baston.
But let's talk about Nick Foles. Do you feel like it was a Nick Foles game? Was this a Doug Peterson amazing calling of a game? Was it the running that Blunt and Ajay did? What did you think was the killer?
I think what the killer was for Philadelphia was consistency throughout the year. Mm-hmm. We got to keep one thing in mind. The mold of Philadelphia, I've maintained this, is that they actually copied what New England's been doing. And what I mean by that is they obviously get dynamic receivers. I mean, everyone in the league's looking for dynamic receivers. But the run game, they changed.
Yeah.
Remember when DeMarco Murray left Dallas and he ended up going to Philadelphia?
Yes.
And then he wanted to leave because he was just so pissed off that he wasn't getting any carries. And then he wants to leave from there. New England, 3 running backs at all time. They've been doing it for years. Philadelphia's been doing it now. Mm-hmm. So the Philadelphia organization, I think the really big key to their success is that they have an identity and a mold. Right? They have a great defense. I mean, outside of the game that happened. But they have an absolutely outstanding defense. And like you said, that they looked at the Jags game, I think they said, all we got to do is just keep our composure. And they were mixing it up. They were running when they should have. They were throwing when they should have. Nick Foles, again, I stand corrected, was throwing the ball extremely well. Is he the long-term solution? I don't know when we want to talk about that. I don't think so. I think you get rid of this guy while you can. Carson Wentz is your quarterback. He had the MVP season. And you can get so much for Foles.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. But here's the X factor to that. I say you talk to Foles. And you say, hey, you're a quarterback. You're the backup.
Right.
Unless he does something wrong. Would you be willing to stay in the organization? If they can get away with it at the price, why not? Because now Philly knows the system is working. Foles can come in and finish Wentz's job.
All right. I'll take everything you said, and I like what you said. However, where I'm gonna tweak it to what I think slightly is this. You got Foles, who clearly dominated the last 3 games. Clearly, his game management, the precision of his passing, the system.
Last 2 games, because the Atlanta game was garbage.
All right, well, it wasn't great, but he won them the game at the end of the day.
I guess
I'll give you that.
The game was garbage too. I think it was 15-10, if I remember the score.
16-10, I think it was.
Was that what it was?
Something like that, but yeah, whatever. But at the end of the day,
do you know that for a fact? You just want to correct me.
No, I swear to you, I knew that one.
You know what? I'm going to look at.
No, I want you to. I want you. You know what? And I want you to tweet it out later. Yep, go ahead. I'll say my point.
Because I barely listen to you anyways.
Yeah,
but I'm going to call you out.
What I wanted to say was this. Let's talk a little bit about how Philly won this game. Philly did what I think me and Dimitri have been talking about over the last couple of weeks on the podcast. Is this? They played a fundamental football game. They ran the ball. They passed the ball, and when it was 4th and 1, you know what they did?
Suck it, Mitch.
Oh, you're right.
15-10.
You know what? I take it back.
Here's a little deconstructive criticism for you. You can't make shit up on air when we're recording.
You're right. Ladies and gentlemen, Dimitri was right.
Yeah,
Mitch, I take it back.
Mitch unfortunately still sends memo with smoke signal and Raven.
And
so
Ravens,
I can see where you get mixed up.
You know what? I apologize. Yeah. I do. But in all honesty, I felt like Philadelphia did exactly what the other 2 teams couldn't accomplish, which was they ran the ball precise. They got a good little stability on the run. New England had to respect the run, and when they didn't, Blunt was running all over them. And with all due respect, LeGarrette Blunt isn't your feature back, and he's running all over you.
So, but he's a great situation.
He is, absolutely. Yeah. However, at the same time, they had to start watching him. And then when they weren't watching him, this Clement guy came out of nowhere. Did the guy get the memo that he was supposed to slow down? Like, that guy was running at 100, where everyone else running at like a 70. Like, it was crazy.
Unbelievable.
Then, on top of it, the play action that they were doing, the options, the reads. And then, let's talk about a couple of things real quick. And then we'll get off this Super Bowl topic and get onto a couple of new things and let the NFL graciously die and wait 6 months for it to resurrect again.
Well, here comes shitty episodes of the podcast.
If you love the first 18,
just stick around for 30 more.
But in all honesty, let's talk about the 4th and 1 plays. Let's talk about the goal line one first.
Sure.
Balls. Straight up balls.
Love it.
Love it. And to all those people that think that if Brady had caught his pass, which he didn't, granted, even if he caught it, I think Brady showed the world that his running ability is that of a snail. I don't even know. He is.
Mitch, I looked at him.
Yeah,
and I know what happened.
What?
He's got gout.
I think, buddy. Honestly,
I'm telling you, that's how I run when I have gout and when I don't. But anyways, beside the point. I'm going to ask Brady if he should join the gout movement.
Dude, you know what? If the only thing that Brady can't do is run very well, why don't you just concentrate on running a little bit, like some sprints?
Well, look, man. So do like 48%
I'm not telling you
of North
become
Americans.
a different quarterback. Just like when the opportunity arises where you got to run out of the pocket or you got a little flat out pass to go. When he ran out, it was like I believe in the 4th quarter where he had
Cam Newton gets a touchdown on that play
easily. I think there's a lot of guys.
I thought Peyton Manning was the worst runner of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I did. I thought so. And now Brady proved that he's the best at something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow, that was atrocious.
It was horrible.
As we just finish, your thoughts on the New England haters, get off it. The refs aren't on their side anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got the stats here. Now, on one end, you can kind of say New England got 1 penalty for 5 yards in the entire game. Not joking, it's right here.
It's a well-composed team.
However, Philadelphia only got 6 penalties for 35. So you can't really say...
Okay, well, 30 yards.
Yeah.
Even though 6 penalties is
Whatever.
30.
It's not that big a deal. I mean,
they weren't a factor whatsoever.
They weren't.
I'm shocked there were no pass interference.
No, I agree. And that last play, I'm not going to lie to you. You could have I'm not saying there was. I'm just saying you want to make an exciting Super Bowl NFL fan?
Mitch, when it comes to those Hail Marys, I am shocked that they would not look at the pass interference there, because that's the opportunity where it's most likely to happen. I thought there was initially. I'm not saying that I still do. I'm just saying at that time I thought there was. Do you agree that Zach Ertz was at a touchdown?
No, listen. I hate this whole touchdown rule. I always have. I will say this. I don't think that was a touchdown based on previous plays of similarities that we've seen throughout the year.
Yeah, now you have the Dallas Cowboy fans bitching about...
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about earlier a month ago when they played Pittsburgh and Jesse James with the touchdown there. To me, that's no different to some degree than what happened.
Yeah.
So unless somebody can truly explain to me all the way through how those two plays were somewhat different, I say, unfortunately, Jesse James, yours was called back.
Yeah.
This one should have been.
And what about the other one? What about
the Clement?
The Clement one.
That, I felt like that one was okay. I'll be honest with you.
Me too. So we have the discussion group going on.
Yeah.
And people were weighing their opinions. And guys, thank you very much, all of you, and to the new joiners as well. Appreciate your involvement. But I thought that one was okay too. Like people saying, well, the ball moved. I'm like, yeah, the ball moved, but he moved the ball. Like he was just transferred. Like to me, the step was out of bounds, but he caught the ball and did 2 steps before that step. So I thought that was a non-issue.
I truly blame the NFL for making this rule way more complicated than it ever has to be. Like it's simple. At the end of the day, if the ball crosses the plane, it's a touchdown. End of the conversation. Drops it after whatever. If the ball, like based on their rule, if the nose of the ball touches the line of the end zone, it's a touchdown. So why are we all arguing and fighting?
Did you see the XFL? They trolled them big time. And you know what? After seeing that and what we've talked about, I think this XFL thing might take off a lot better than we might perceive it to be.
So good on you, Philly. Congratulations on your first NFL. And you know what? To the fans of Philly, I think I actually commend you even more. But I have to say this, in all honesty, with all sports fans across the world, why are you guys ripping up your city? I don't understand it.
How about you dog shit?
You know, can I just say one thing real quick? Why is it, like when the Flames here in Calgary, when they made a run, we didn't blow up the city. The girls were taking their shirts off.
Yeah.
Hey, take a note from us, guys.
Yeah.
Just have the ladies be excited and take their shirts off.
McCain Tasty Talks at a party last time I checked were a good thing.
I just don't understand why you guys need to, like when Vancouver lost the cup. Okay, granted, you guys lost it 3-1. You lose it, but you're as a citizen. You're paying your own taxes. Like you guys are destroying your own city. But why do you need to flip a car? And in this case, Philly wins it and starts bonfires and everything.
Yeah, and they got to eat. Like one guy was eating dog shit.
Like it's just so
eating dog shit, which is you know. Actually, no, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna let the joke go.
Yeah, just let it go, man. I don't.
But anyways, yeah, that's brutal. Mental health issues. See, that's where Dr. Ryan Todd's got to go. He's got to do a little stint in Philly.
Yeah.
Head up to Vancouver
then over to Buffalo.
Like, is there? Yeah, and then to Buffalo. I mean. You can't be right in the head. We won. Let's break things.
I will say this about the NFL, though. I know, man. But I will say this about the NFL. I'm going to say that the one thing I love about the off-season that's going on right now is this is the male soap opera time, right? Yes. This is where all the stuff starts coming out a little bit. You're hearing who's leaving, who's coming, who's with who. Was there a backroom deal? It's like exciting kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
I won't lie to you, I'm kind of a sucker for it a little bit.
You know, all the NFL needs is just a little bit of sex factor in there. There's a little scandalous, a little bit more. The NHL's got it.
Well, here's a couple of them. Let's because I love to peruse.
Well, yes.
I love to peruse the rumor mill.
You are a great peruser.
So we got a couple. So I'm going to ask you, and I want you to shotgun fire. Like, just answer right off the bat. Is Brady back next year?
Yes.
Is Gronk back next year?
Yes.
Is Belichick back next year?
Yes.
Is this the end of New England?
Yes.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, here's another one for you. Our boy, Aaron Rodgers, has kind of gone on record and says, I'm okay with maybe a trade going somewhere else. I'm okay with the idea of going somewhere if it's going to be a Super Bowl contender.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think he'll roll?
I think he's got 2 years left in the contract. I believe I'm pretty sure it's 2 years. Green Bay has 2 years to fix the ever-loving screw-up that they just did with this guy.
Yeah.
Okay? You let go of the QB coach. That's fine. That's your prerogative.
Yeah.
If some guy's not doing their job, they're not doing their job. But at what point, especially this season, when Aaron Rodgers proved that the Green Bay Packers are nothing without him, and the one guy that he consoles with, or obviously he had a great relationship, you're not going to talk to your star guy about this? You know, because Aaron Rodgers is a little more to the organization than just their quarterback. He is absolutely the Belichick and Brady, and like he's everything there. We saw that.
Okay. Now let me ask, can I jump in for 1 second?
Of course.
Do you not think, okay, they get rid of Andy Van Pelt, right? Like, is that wasn't that who the quarterback coach, right? They get rid of him. All of a sudden, he's like, you guys didn't ask me about it. I liked him. He's got, maybe I would roll if somebody offered me something or whatever. Do you know who the problem is here? Is Danica. He wasn't talking like this last year.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't, and I'm getting a little animated that you haven't figured this out. She's the problem, man. It's the woman that's the problem here.
Oh my God, she's the.
You know what she says? You know you'd look good in, Aaron. You look good in navy blue.
Oh my God, if he goes to the Bears, I might have to end it, Mitch.
Well, I'm just letting you know, buddy.
And I'm
don't think that these don't somehow parallel.
Does insurance
into
cover?
I don't know, man. We'll talk to our buddy Dave about that. But you tell me how this isn't ironic.
That bitch.
So I'm gonna go on the record right now.
She couldn't make it as a race car driver, so she's trying to ruin Aaron's career because she's a Bears fan, and she's like, "Come on, go to Chicago." She goes, "Honey, they let Cutler stay for this many years. What do you think they're going to do for you?
Look what you've done for them. Look at what you've done for them in the middle of nowhere, in the cold."
Jezebel, Delilah.
Buddy, what have they said about the Helena Troy? She casted 1,000 ships. Oh, that's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
Danica, we have a sponsored car for you that we'd like you to test drive around the track. What? The brakes are...
Okay, here's another one. Shotgun. Ready?
Shotgun. Ready? I like this.
Yeah,
I just don't know. I did not notice this at all. Okay.
Right. I know you said earlier, Foles Wentz is gone.
Right.
But do you actually believe that? You mean to tell me right now that based on what you saw, especially in that Super Bowl, under Peterson's great leadership and his offensive schemes, Foles doesn't even have a chance to run for first-string quarterback right now?
No.
Oh. I got to disagree with you.
They won't do it.
You don't think so?
They won't do it.
All right. Hey.
Carson Wentz had a better season and a consistent better season. Foles capitalized on a small sample size of games.
Agreed all day long. Agreed. Yeah. However, I have to say, it's like the Minnesota talk.
I thought this was
let me ask you. Okay, fine. You're right. And you answered the question. Let's go to the Minnesota one. Case Keenum, Bridgewater, the other dude, the guy with the long sleeves. Bradford. Yeah, thanks.
All gone. Bridgewater stays.
Wow, really? Yeah. I think Case should stay, man. If they're smart, they'll keep Case. He had a bigger sample. He had the whole season.
I think they like Bridgewater. Nah. I don't think it's a result.
You know what, mini fans?
And Minnesota and the purple. Sorry, sorry. The purple team. They just have a knack for screwing things up.
Unbelievable.
So, no, they like him. They'll keep him.
Just so you know, I'm going to start rumors about Danica. I'm just.
We have to, Mitch. You're right. I can't believe
I have to take this in my own hands. The fact that you didn't see that she's been manipulating this whole situation.
Because I'm getting manipulated.
Yeah.
I'm getting
you
manipulated.
You and him are getting manipulated.
Oh, man.
All right. So the next thing that came up during this season or during this week was they get to the inductees. The inductees of the Hall of Fame for 2018.
The Hoff.
The Hoff, if you will. Yes, exactly. So...
The NFL
and the nominees are and the guys that made it. Congratulations to everyone that made it. I do the list of guys that I saw that did make it were people that I, for the most part, knew who they are and I respect what they've done for the game. Randy Moss,
love it.
Dawkins, unreal. Ray Lewis, no brainer.
No brainer there.
Brian Urlacher.
Anyone that can get that
As
can
much
get
as
off
the
a
bear, you still got to respect.
You got to respect the Urlacher, but going to Lewis, anyone who can get off a murder charge, win the Super Bowl,
Absolutely.
come back, do it again, it's good in my book.
Absolutely.
That's 3 Super Bowl wins.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bobby Beathart, he is part of the contributing factor, Jerry Kramer, and Robert Brazil. And you're probably saying, well, Mitch, you missed one. Yeah, I did. Because I don't,
Mitch,
you know
you're
what?
not don't tell me.
I don't want him on it.
Get
I don't
the
want him
heck
on it.
out of here.
Terrell
Why?
Owens does not deserve to be in there.
That is the dumbest statement you've said 2018.
Nope. I'll tell you why.
He doesn't
He
deserve to
hurt
be
my
there.
feelings.
If Jeff
He
was
hurt
here,
my feelings.
If Jeff was here, he would be ringing the bell right now.
Yeah.
Ding, ding. You're an idiot. What are you
Why?
talking about? The numbers are there, Mitch.
Yeah, that's fine. But you know what's not there? He didn't treat me right when I met him. That's what happened. That's why I'm not with him. Listen, if you're a fan...
I don't treat you right here, and I've known you for how many years?
First off, you're not going to make the Hall of Fame of anything.
He should have been first ballot after knowing that information.
You're going to make the Hall of Fame of nothing. That's what you're the contributing factor to that. How's that?
So this is a spite move.
Well, of course it's a spite move.
He didn't treat you right when you met him. Mm-hmm. First of all, you're not that high class to begin with. What situation?
Exactly. I'm not that high class.
So what situation were you in where you met Terrell Owens?
I'm going to tell you. This is the true story. 9 years ago, this time 9 years ago.
It's a good thing it doesn't bother you.
This time 9 years ago, I was in California.
Was this a real story?
Yeah, I
was in.
My cousin Jim turned 40 years old. We did a Flames trip. Myself, his good friend Chris, and myself go out there. We go to a Flames game. We went.
The Flames trip. I missed where. This is in.
In California.
In California. Okay.
Flames games.
What city?
We were in LA. We landed in LA. We went to a Kings game.
I'm probing you because I still think.
No, this is a true story. Watch. Kings game, and then we went to an Anaheim game. And in between those two games, we had a day off, and we even hit a Lakers game where I got Andy Garcia. Yes, the Andy Garcia
from Ocean's 11.
Andy Garcia from Ocean's 11
no way.
To acknowledge my existence.
Mr. fucking
and
Benedict.
Kobe Bryant acknowledged my existence. Yep. That's right. And that's a story for another time. However, going to this story so we don't take up too much time, we go down Beverly Hills. We're like, hey, let's go to this Rodeo Drive that everyone talks about.
Right.
And we're walking around, get a Starbucks, we're looking around. We're not going to buy anything, but we're
What'd
looking
you get
around.
for Starbucks?
I got quad espresso like I normally do, and the other gentleman.
I'm challenging you on everything. Like I said,
of course, go ahead. So we walk around and we see a sports apparel store. So we're like, well, we walked in. It was maybe a little off the beaten track, but it was Rodeo Drive-ish, if you will.
Right.
We walk in. I swear to God, we walk in. Me, Jim, and Chris. And you have 2 other people and the store clerk. There was the 3 of us, the store clerk, and Terrell Owens inside the store.
Where was the second shooter?
Terrell Owens is going through shirts. Just by himself. Okay. You know, he doesn't have an entourage with him. He's on his own. He's just going through shirts. I walk up to him. Chris is a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. I could care less.
That's his mistake. But
absolutely.
There's room for them too.
But I said to myself, I'm going to put bygones to bygones and I'm going to put it to the side.
Okay.
That's Terrell Owens. He's a dude.
No, he's playing for the Cowboys at this time.
At this time, he's at the Cowboys. And he's a machine, by the way. He is huge.
Yeah.
He is huge. So, I walk over. I go, excuse me, Mr. Owens. Okay? How are you?
You said Mr. Owens.
I kid you not.
I believe you did that. I believe that.
He's still looking at the shirts while I'm not acknowledging his existence. I go, would you mind a quick picture of me, my buddy? He's a big fan. He's a big Cowboys fan. Could we get a picture, all 4 of us together? I kid you not. There's no one else in the store. So to say that, okay, if I give you guys a picture, everyone else is going to want one.
Right.
He's looking at the shirts while he's answering me, by the way.
Okay.
And he says, sorry, man, I'm busy. At this moment, I said to myself, if I took off my shoe and threw it at him, how fast could he chase me down and beat the crap out of me? The answer was very high.
You know what?
No.
He would catch it because he's a Hall of Fame receiver. He's a Hall of Fame receiver.
Listen,
and you know what, you Dallas pricks?
Yeah.
If Terrell Owens was still in that team, you can complain about that Green Bay catch. Terrell Owens doesn't let it bobble.
That's right.
Get out, Bryant.
That's right.
You don't deserve to be there. First of all, Mitch, he was busy because you just said yourself that he was looking at shirts. I don't understand why you got to be so aggressive. What you should have done is said, okay, Mr. Owens, I do recognize you're busy.
Right.
We're still going to be at the store. Could I catch you when you're finished and not busy? Did you try that?
I'm going to tell you this right now.
Did you try that?
I kid you not. If this happened to you, you'd be crying on the floor. If this happened to you with like one of the guys that you admire, like a Sidney Crosby or something, you would have the same hate. The fact that I'm a Packer fan, and then on top of this Cowboy legend, allegedly, says this to me, I've got no love for this guy. So, do his stats count? Of course they do. Good for him. Way to go, Terrell. But you know what? You lost a fan that day. And in fact, you lost maybe two, because I don't know if Chris likes you still. And if Chris does, I'll find out next week when he hears the podcast. Let's find out what Chris thought about
Chris,
that.
message it on Facebook. I want to know.
I'm telling you, that's what happened.
So because Terrell Owens figured out really quickly that you are maybe one of the shittiest people of all time,
right?
You're holding it personally. Did you ever look at what you've done? Maybe you did something.
You know what, Terrell?
Maybe you looked at him.
Let me tell you something. If you're a sports icon like he is, and he's great, you know what his biggest problem is? Is just like Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds might have taken steroids and did all that stuff or whatever. Allegedly. However, the one thing that he was very obvious about Barry Bonds is that he wasn't good with the media. He just didn't get along with them. They'd come in, he would attack, vice versa, whatever. Like, they just didn't get along, which is one of the reasons he's not in the Hall of Fame. The steroid case is a big thing, but it's also because of his lack of respect with the media. Terrell Owens, in my opinion, the fact that, like, forget about me, but you know what I mean? Like, he's always had it kind of bad with the media, and he's always had it. You got in on your stats. Good for you. And that's how you should get in. Because a couple episodes ago, we said Eric Lindros, how are you in the Hall of Fame? Based on the numbers. So with all due respect, good for you, Terrell. You did earn it. You do have the... But you lost, but I still don't like you. I don't like you. You lost a fan. I hope you hear this. I hope you know that you lost a fan that day.
And he's probably listening because we got downloads in Texas.
Oh, somebody's going to get to you. Don't you worry. Somebody's going to tell you the good stuff. Don't worry. Don't worry at all.
That's awesome.
So we're like halfway through the podcast. We're about the 40-minute mark is where, we start getting into the big thing.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting to the big thing. And now with NHL gone, the NFL gone, we are, in the next few podcasts, going to be talking about NBA.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to get heavy into the NBA.
There's a lot to talk about in the NBA.
And we're going to be talking a lot about the NHL.
NBA fans, we didn't forget about you out there. I know we get the feedback saying, Dimitri, Mitch, talk about more NBA. We're going to give it to you, and we're going to give it to you really good coming in the weeks. Thanks for bearing with us.
We're pumped about it because those are two big topics that we haven't really touched because the NFL really, at the end of the day, you guys, they run the world. Let's just call it what it is. They run the world, and we're pumped about it. But not talking too much about NHL, we're going to go into this week's conversation or this week's topic, and I think we're going to be returning back to this.
Yeah,
I have a feeling this is not going to end very well for either one of us. We're going to have some people that are going to argue with us based on what we want to do. So last week we talked about the GOAT, and that started off an explosion of things with regards to this tournament that we're doing, our top 64 GOATs of all time.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great, and people are loving it. The amount of names that have been coming in have been really overwhelming and exciting. So a lot of names I didn't think of, to be honest with you.
Me too. Me too. And that's why it's great that everyone's contributing. And please, in the discussion group, you can find the thread. Just throw the names out there. Email us if you like as well.
So right now, I was telling Dimitri, I've been reading this book the last couple of weeks. It's the Sean Avery story. It's called Offside, My Life Crossing the Line.
Oh, and by the way, he actually had the book in front of him earlier, and he still didn't get Sean Avery's name right.
You don't have a problem with
You called him
names.
Steve Avery.
I did.
And I'm like, you have the book in front of you.
I wasn't looking.
Like, like, what more do you need?
I don't need anything more. Listen,
right? That's why when you tell me these dumb stories like Terrell Owens snubbed you, I have a hard time believing you because if you can't see what's in front of you, how am I supposed to take your word on stories?
Is to take advice from somebody that just got a job this week. This is what's the hardest part, okay? This is what the hardest part is.
I was testing the market, okay? And I technically don't start yet.
So there's still a chance that he's going to be unemployed by next week. Fair enough. I don't like to kick a guy while he's down, but when he comes after me every time, I have no choice. I have no choice.
Seeking new opportunities. If any of you are hiring out there,
just so you know, when your daughter asks me one day, is like, "What's it like working with my dad?" And I'll be like, he's a deadbeat. He was a deadbeat. I had to carry him for a couple of years. But I would never say that. I actually would never say that. You know,
No, I mean,
I love her.
this recording won't be on the record. Right?
I just want her to know that I'm joking, and I love him, and he's fine, and
Dad,
he's a delight to be around.
Also, Mitch called you a deadbeat. What does that mean exactly?
I have a feeling you wouldn't tell your daughter to call me Uncle Mitch. She's like, just Mitch.
That
guy Mitch. I don't think we've gotten to that level where you would consider me an uncle.
That's your aunt Katerina, and that's Mitch.
That's Mitch.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's the friend of the
he
family.
He married in. I don't know what the deal is. But okay, go ahead.
All right, so the reason I want to bring it up is in this book, Sean Avery gets very testy. Like, I'll be honest with you, he gets in there,
and it takes a lot of balls to get testy.
Yeah, no doubt. But in the book, he's cutting down a lot of people. He's cutting down some of his past coaches, some of his teammates. And I asked Dimitri here what he thought of it, but the code. There is a code in all sports.
Yeah.
That it goes from the locker room to when you're traded to certain elements in sports. So, for example, like when I brought up about Foles and Wentz, and even with Brady and Bledsoe back in the day,
right.
The rule was you're not supposed to lose your job to an injury. Because, quote unquote, it's the code. Same thing with hockey. What happens in the dressing room has got to stay in the dressing room. Quote unquote, the code. My thing is, does the code actually exist? And if so, is it still being... I think back in 20, 30 years ago, absolutely, not only did the code exist, it was actually... what's the word I want to use? It was lawful. Like, you had to go by it. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. If you broke the code, you were basically exiled.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, there was a couple of Laker players. One guy Snapchatted his buddy, caused a big controversy with Nick Young, ended up breaking up his relationship with a famous rap star and all that stuff. And to this day, that guy's still thrown under the bus. So I want to know, does the code exist or not?
Yeah, the code does exist, but people do break it. And I'm of the opinion that I think those examples of airing the laundry in the locker room is the worst thing that anyone can do. I mean, that's a place of trust. That's a place of trust where not only do you feel like you have the trust of people, other people are leading you on to believe that they have your trust. And the fraternity of those locker rooms in all these sports should be held sacred. I don't mind hearing scandal. We all love a good story. Let's not kid ourselves right now.
Exactly, yeah.
When the news breaks out, we love it.
Absolutely.
We're like, what? He did what to his girlfriend? I mean, you did your investigative reporting.
Absolutely.
In a city close to us in Edmonton. Look, we love it. When it comes out, we love it. But at the same time, I don't want to hear it that way either. You know, when it comes from the locker room. So what Avery did in his book, I mean, it's an unwritten rule, right?
But, you know, where I'm going with it is, I don't think it exists anymore. I think 30 years ago, 20 years ago, I can say, it existed to the T.
Right.
You said anything, you were blackballed, you're gone. Today, I mean, there's a book, I'm literally sitting right next to it. It's out now. I don't think this code exists anymore. And I don't know if it's right or wrong. Because I'm with you. What happens in the locker room with your buddies, absolutely. I mean, our show is called Real Locker Room Talk because you should be able to freely say and do what you want. And then after that, you know, whatever the case may be. Like, when you're amongst your buddies, you do it.
That's
Girls
right.
and boys included. It doesn't matter gender and all that stuff that we sometimes joke around it. I don't think the code exists anymore, man. I gotta be honest.
You think it's just gone?
I truly do believe. I mean, as I sit next to this book, and there's others. He's not the only one. There's others.
He's not.
I think that the code is gone, and I don't know if I'm actually nostalgic with regards to. I feel like with these superstars, they're so under the microscope all the time,
right?
That I do feel bad for them because they should have that locker room to themselves. They should, you know, be able to not be judged on what happens and what they say and this and that. But based on the way the world is, I don't think this code, quote unquote, exists anymore.
Well, I think there are more forms of media too, right? Like, I don't want to pinpoint all the blame just on social media. Social media is just an avenue, you guys, right? That we all happen to be on. So Reporters still got to do their reporting, but now there's a lot of money to be made. Athletes, I think, are maybe under under more microscopes looking at them because of these different avenues. And maybe it's harder to hide, certain things because people are always following. We got phones on our cameras now. We got this, we got that. But I'm not so sure that the code is completely broken. I think it's still there. I just think sometimes you legitimately have some pieces of garbage like Avery who, for some reason, got talked into the book deal. Book deals have been around forever. They've been around forever. But he got conned into, I'll do the book deal. But that was also his personality. Mm-hmm. Remember, he went on, he called Dion Phaneuf and said, he's got my sloppy seconds. Yeah. Which he
actually apologizes in this book about that.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he apologizes.
So he apologizes for saying something like that,
yeah.
but he'll go, like, if he's, I haven't read the book, man. Have you read the whole thing?
Not the whole thing.
Okay. So if he's talking about people that he hated, like I hated, you mentioned earlier, you said, like, you hated Tortorella.
Yeah.
To me, that's not violating any kind of code. He's like, look, I hated that guy.
But isn't it a little bit like, listen, at the end of the day, I agree. But I'm like right on that chapter right now where he's like kind of talking about it more and more. But but why? And he'll probably go into why. And the reality is like, okay, tomorrow I quit my job or I get fired from my job. I'm going to be cutting down
Believe me, it happens to all of us.
I'm going to be cutting down my boss. I'm going to be saying this. Oh, they misunderstood me.
Again, it happens to all of us.
It is funny where on one end, I guess I would be the first one to do it, like against my boss. But I feel like a little jaded the fact that he would do it from a sports point of view. It's weird. It's weird how we interact differently with sports figures or how we think they should act and based on how we should act. I do think that like Don Cherry is probably the guy that is like, if there was a code police, he would be like the sergeant or the commissioner.
He should be actually. He should be like, sorry, you have to go in front of Don Cherry.
Yeah, exactly.
And good luck.
Yeah, have fun with that.
We'll see you in the Coliseum.
Exactly. and that's what I kind of think is like, what's written unwritten. The world has changed so much that I don't think that these codes.
Yeah, but Mitch, to say I don't like a guy or this, that's not breaking the code in my opinion, right? Maybe we have different.
If he starts telling you?
But if he starts saying, you know what, I saw Tortorella, sneak off with 3 girls, while he's married and this and that, I think that's breaking. That's none of your business to be going. Especially, we don't know if a guy is rolling with a guy and he's just the first to the punch.
Right.
So if me and you are all of a sudden, I'm married, you're going to be getting married this year, but, fast forward when we're extremely famous, even though we're already a global phenomenon, but you know what I'm saying?
Global.
Prestige. But, okay, let's say a couple years down the road, we're both married, we've got families, and we're doing this podcast around the world, and we're sleeping around and behind our girls' backs. And then I turn around some years later and write it in a book that's what you were doing after I know my wife is absolved or whatever.
Which I wasn't.
Yeah, and I was not either.
For the record?
Yeah. Is this thing on? No. But nothing happened at the AVNs. Got it? Nothing happened. But
hey man, you started this fight. Yeah, see? There you go.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's that would be a jerk move because I just beat you to the punch, right? We went to Vegas for my brother's stag last week. Yeah, I can talk about some things that happened in Vegas, but there's some things that I'm just not going to talk about because they're not a big deal to me, but they might be a big deal to someone else, right? So that's what, like, yeah, Tortorella's a jerk, or this person was an idiot, or, when I was signing my contract, this is what happened behind the scenes. Yeah, that's just life experience. But to talk about financials, or something like that, that's offside. Or
I don't know. I have to say, in this day and age, I mean, I just don't think the code exists anymore. And I guess it's more of a warning sign from my point of view. If I was, was going to talk to a sports athlete of any kind right now, I would say, you know what? Just be careful what you do in the dressing room. Don't trust anyone. I don't think anyone is at that level where you can trust them in any sort of way because it's just there's too many inquiring minds. and you don't know who's across from you. I've seen this song and dance too many times, and I don't know. We're going to talk more about the code because there's other ones as well I want to talk more about.
Yeah.
Like for example, should you be able to lose your position based on an injury? The codes for hockey is a big one that I brought up in the past to you. Wearing certain equipment, like it's crazy to me how far a hockey player will go, almost to the point of injury, just to prove how strong they are and how tough they are, right. So that they follow again the code.
There's Mitch, a lot. We should I know we're getting close with time, but we should definitely revisit this. And maybe it'd be a good idea to ask the group, get some insight on different codes.
Absolutely.
And maybe not just in sports, just in the workplace, because at the end of the day, this is a workplace.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like it is a sport, it is our entertainment, but it is a workplace. And I'd like to know if anyone's read Sean Avery's book. That's that listens to us and follows us, and I'd like to get their feedback.
Yeah,
from
sure,
it as well.
Absolutely.
Because I think maybe is part of it the perception of the code. Is the code explained? Maybe it doesn't exist. So you say it doesn't exist?
Well, right now, let me explain. There's another chapter in the book, just to give you an example, where he's in arbitration with the Rangers. And he basically, he's admitting it in the book, where he basically, he called a reporter, he called somebody that he knows that could leak the story into why he wasn't able to get that extra money. Like he basically used his insight and used his connections to throw them under the bus, to like make it very difficult. There's a lot of stuff in there that I'm like, you know what, man?
To me, that's against the code.
Well, and I'm telling you, it's like on this one chapter.
Yeah, but he was a jerk though.
But it doesn't. The point is yes, he's one of 700 players that are in the league, but there's more of him. Don't think there's just him.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can trust really anyone.
Mitch, would you be a code maker or a code breaker?
No, dude, if there's one thing that I am, and I say this truthfully, the code is the code. In the locker room when I played, it was, granted, I only
Division 11 football?
Honestly, when I was in, played football in high school and all that fun stuff, there's a code, even in high school. There's certain things. There's a respect factor. It just is what it is.
All I know is that if anything leaked out from the Joker's hockey locker room,
exactly,
I'm telling you, we'd all be looking for jobs and new wives.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not because you guys are doing.
And it's not because of infidelity.
No.
It's
it's more like you guys are just having fun, being juvenile, and no one's going to divorce you guys for the stupid shit you do in there. But the reality is you guys joke around. It could be taken by anybody.
The problem is I remember with PZ, we were.
Is that a thing? I didn't know.
Yeah, PZ.
No, I know what that is. But when we both was that?
Oh, did we at the same time?
We did at the same time.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
PZ gets a lot of pub in this.
Why would we? I gotta listen to that.
I don't know. Yeah, you gotta hear.
Like, why would I? I should be talking.
I think it's because I'm like, yeah, PZ.
Yeah. And then it's not.
We gotta bring him on. I think the people want to know who PZ is. They gotta hear PZ.
Yeah, we want to hear. PZ. Yeah. You're in. But I remember telling him, I said, this is my sanctuary. This is a place where I get to come for a couple hours and just kind of hang out with the guys and play the game of hockey and have fun and whatever. Let's revisit this, Mitch, because we're like I said, we're running close on time, and I think we got a lot more into this.
Absolutely. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I love it. I think the code is a big one that, just like the GOAT episode, I think a lot of people are going to like the code.
Yeah, I think I would even,
we apologize. We would have taled about it more, but it
was Super Bowl, you guys.
Super Bowl, guys, what are we going to do? We're not going to talk about the Super
everything.
Bowl.
You guys complain we go for an hour, and then when we don't bring stuff up, it's like, why didn't you add this in? What do you want from us?
Yeah. So guess who I watched the game with yesterday?
Talk to me.
Travis O'Shea.
Ah, my boy, Travis, you're my buddy, man.
Why are you pounding?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I wasn't reaching to pound you. I was like, "It's my money, man." And you kind of went, and I didn't want to leave you hanging.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
I wanted to come, believe it or not. I swear to you, this was the reason. I wanted to come watch the game with you guys, just so I could meet Travis O'Shea in person.
You never met Travis?
No.
Oh.
No, that's why I'm like, I got to go. But the weather was so bad. I said,
no.
It was, it's a long haul for me, right?
He's a good boy. He was pumped, and he was the Tony Romo of the broadcast.
His stuff, hey?
He knows it very well. And literally, we were watching the game.
Yeah.
He's like, look at that crack ball. Look at that crack block. Look at that. The way that guy ran that route. Like it was like listening. And he's a Dallas fan, so that's why I don't want to give him too much.
But he's a good Dallas fan.
He's a good Dallas fan.
Right? Jimmy, on the other hand, love the guy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind if he wins, actually.
Yeah.
The poll, but he's a crazy Dallas.
I'm scared if he wins.
Yeah,
I'm scared if he wins.
It's funny. So I said today, they're like, oh, if that was a catch, then Des Bryant. I go, guys, you got to let it go.
Yeah, you got to let it go.
Like you as grown men, we cannot be in our 30s plus,
right,
and still thinking about a sports play that happened 3 years ago that is causing you that much pain and suffering.
It's
like you have to get help.
They need to work forward. Yeah,
yeah. Like you gotta look into investigate that.
But speaking of the pool, Anastasios, or as I call him, the Bear, is tearing it apart.
You know what? The TNG Mob Squad.
Yeah.
Right? And he said he jumped through a table if he wins.
Oh, he will.
So, for all of you listening, we have on the RLRT discussion group, there is a poll. And it's the finalists that whoever wins gets a spot in the March show. The contest closed, I believe, February 15th. We put it on.
Yeah.
And Tasso is crushing it. But why is he crushing it, Mitch? Because he's putting in the work.
He's putting in the work.
The original people that are in the group, and guys, pay attention to this, because it's not like he's uncatchable. He's catchable. But he got his friend.
I'm gonna actually stop you right there. He's up like 80. Like, that's a lot of people he's up on right now.
Yeah, but all the other guys have to do is just do what he did. He went to his friends that aren't in the group.
Right.
He said, hey, would you like to join the group? Which is great. And that's what... We can't thank you enough for the contributions.
That's what I'm saying. I think Tassel runs away with this.
Well, he will run away with it unless the other guys start doing what he's doing. Get your guys, get them to come in and vote. Every day, Mitch, you see it on Facebook too. We're getting requests to join
every day. And we appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
And they come in and they vote for Tasso. So, guys, pick it up. Pick
it up is right. And Tasso, buddy, seriously, your video is unreal. But I have to admit, I do love the trash talking after the video was put up. Like
when Travis was like, "If you paint your face green, you look like Shrek." That one,
I died. And then Paul had a couple of remarks. I love that you guys are going after each other.
Tasso's video was good, but it sounded like he didn't want anyone else in his house to know he was.
For sure. I mean, he's got.
Okay, my wife and my kid, they're in the other room. He's like, "Hi, this is Tasso." Like he didn't want anyone to know.
Tasso, good for you, man. Bottom line, you manned up, bro.
But I'll tell you what,
manned up.
All the candidates, Tasso knows his sports. He'd actually be really good to be on. I know it. Actually, any of Jimmy, Travis,
all of them,
Paul,
very insightful, very smart.
G-Money, obviously. I mean, G-Money, we'll do a half movie episode if you want.
It's great. We're going to do a trailer with G-Money.
Yeah, we should. You know what, G-Money? Just drop out.
P.S.
We'll have you on anyways.
So, yesterday, we're going to end the podcast on this, but I almost want the music to be coming in right now. God damn it, I miss you, Jeff.
Yeah, but Mitch isn't paid more, Jeff.
How excited, ask Travis what happened. As the first commercial or second of the night came on, the solo Star Wars thing came on.
Right.
All I could think about is how excited and nerdy you became for those 45 seconds.
Lost my mind. I was losing it.
I literally watched it. I'm like, oh no.
I went Han Solo. I went Han Solo in the washroom.
So quick. So is this 2 seconds? Again, rapid fire, because I don't want your 10-hour analysis of this.
Get out of here!
I'm just saying. I know you're going to get excited. That's why I'm going to stop you.
Okay? I
don't want you to get.
Don't ask me a question about Star Wars if you're just going to make fun of me.
Then let's not make fun of it. We're going to stop it on this. I just wanted to ask. Is this part of the? Well, I was going to say trilogy.
Canon.
Yes. Is this part of the thing with Star Wars?
It's official canon.
So we're going to find out how Han Solo became Han Solo or something?
Yeah, it's like a Star Wars story. Like the young workings. Probably how he obtained the Millennium Falcon, which he won in a game from Lando Calrissian. Spoiler alert. Okay, whatever. What do you want from me? Wow. See, you set me up. Of course I'm going to... Do I talk a lot? I talk a lot.
No, I don't want you talking a lot about this.
No, but you said 10-hour analysis, and what's funny is... I talk a lot. I get it.
Particular subject.
Of everything
I don't
else.
mind you talking about other sports
Everyone
things. We're on a podcast together. It's the whole reason we do it. It's to talk. But when it comes to Han Solo and fucking
Did it not look good,
and
Mitch?
Boo Boo Fat or whoever that guy
You
is.
know it's Boba Fett. You're trying to be funny, and I take that as a personal insult.
All I'm saying is this could be another podcast for you and your friends to go and like. And there's a little side act. Maybe you guys should do like a podcast
You
Star
are
Wars.
so condescending.
No, I'm
It's
just
not- the
saying.
look you have,
No, I'm
the
saying.
look you
It'd be
have
cool.
is crazy.
All right, everybody, listen. That's podcast number 18. We're finishing it up. Jeff, hurry back and edit this. We need your help ASAP. This is going to get a little awkward, but we are at my house, so we can take the showers together here or separate. I do have another shower for you.
I don't know. What kind of shower? Do you have, like, is it a curtain or is it with a
No,
door?
it's a door.
Does it have a seat in it?
No.
Mine does.
No.
It's great, actually. Sometimes I just sit.
But you know what we could do? I do have like a hot tub kind of thing, like a tub, a soak in.
Then, you know what? Why don't we start at the showers and hit the tub?
Awesome. Thanks everyone for listening. Have yourselves a wonderful week. Enjoy this podcast.
Follow us at Real Locker Room Talk, at Mitch and Dimitri. Get on the website, everyone. Thank you.
It's not-